moons and stars of a trial. Golden heart of fearless guide. Through the fog he cuts so bold. Sea and sky this pirate rides, with a heart spun out of gold.
Boom! Greetings and salutations. Am I live? Am I live? Yes, I am. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another glorious day here at the Tango. It's good to see you, boys. Hope you're doing well. The Tango's having a fine old morning. Woke up late again. Missed my alarm. Lovely, lovely that. And then I'm laying in bed thinking, you know what? Today, I might just not get up today. And then what do I hear over the baby monitor? My son is awake. 2:30 in the morning. God damn it. Because of course I hit the wrong button. Let me do... It stopped recording. That's not good. Let's try that again, shall we? That is not correct. Let's do this. And that, my friends, is how you completely and utterly fuck up. All right, so thank you guys for being here. Very much appreciate it. All right, so yes, my son is awake, and so I don't know how long we're actually gonna have on the stream today, but we're gonna have something. We're gonna be doing something. That I assure you, my friends. And one of the first things I want to talk about is, let me see. Here. Damn it, Bobby. Why are you so stupid? All right, let's go. Boom. There it is. Okay. So in a shocking moment, Pete Hegseth has just said he will examine the promotion of fat people to leadership positions in the military and seek to stop them. And then, this is bonkers. No, it is not. No, it is not. And you know what's funny? I didn't actually choose to wear my military hat and to talk about this at the same time. That was actually serendipity, because I saw this and I remembered, hey, I wanted to talk about this. And for some reason, I put on my hat this morning. I don't know why. And so, one of the crazy things about it is like, I cannot tell. Like, I got out in 2012. Okay, so it's been well over 12 years since I got out. And when I was in, it was absolutely a thing that you had chiefs and even some E6s. These are petty officer first class, chief, senior chief, master chief, who were fat. And I don't mean like, oh, they were, overweight and could pass rope and choke. That's not what I mean. I mean, they were fat. Like, actually morbidly obese. There were officers who were also morbidly obese, to the point where it was actually shameful. Now, the vast majority of these individuals did not actually work on any ships that I know of. The vast majority of them were desk jockeys, obviously, which gives less of an excuse if you really think about it, because you have more, when you're not attached to a seagoing command, you tend to have more free time than otherwise, right? Because most of the time you don't have like duties that require you to work 18, 24-hour days, end over end to get some kind of maintenance done so that a ship can leave, right? Rarely when you're on shore duty does that kind of thing happen. It does, but rarely. Unless you have a specific job where it's like that. But they're you just because you're in the military doesn't mean they can work you like a dog. There are rules, very much so. They can, break them if they need to, but there needs to be a very good reason, like mission critical shit, like there's not going to be any nukes in the Atlantic if we don't get this done, right? Okay, suspend all the rules, everybody works, nobody quits, boom. I've done that. It sucks ass. It's just the way it is. And usually you get like a break afterwards, because, if they work you like that and then you just go back to your regular shit, you're not going to be able to like do your job. But there was one man on my submarine who was morbidly obese. And funnily enough, he was fat, but he could pass the PRT. That was the only reason that it didn't fuck him up, is because he could actually pass the PRT because he could swim. He had some kind of like fucking weird condition, and yeah, he put on a lot of extra weight, but he was also a gigantically strong man, like 6'4" and like 320, 350 pounds or something like that. Yeah, he's very, 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 very fat. But he's also built like a Mack truck, right? And could pass his PRT. And so, other than him being on reprimand for, what was the thing? Being excessively overweight. That was literally what he was. Because he could pass, he passed well, in fact. They kind of just let him get away with it. But it was because he was physically fit. And so what I would say about this is that if you are actually physically fit, I really don't give a fuck how fat you are. If you are fit enough to do your job and to save the people around you if need be, right? And a lot of the reason that the standards for physicality are so lax in the Navy as a general thing over other branches, a lot of it has to do with the same reason the Air Force is because a lot of our jobs are technical, right? I turned wrenches and valves more than I ever did anything. Like that was the physicality that I had to deal with was being a fucking knuckle dragging mechanic in a 120 degree engine room, right? Or 50 degrees depending on which floor you're on, which deck. And so this is one of those things where I think there's a little need for pushback. Because, unfortunately, because of the world we now live in, just being frank and a little off color is considered the like counterculture in politics as far as that's concerned. You're trying to be edgy and shit, and I get that, I do, because a lot of this is more propaganda than anything else. Like people making fun of Pete Hegseth like he's a 12-year-old boy, and it's like, yeah, because it's what appeals to dudes, right? When you see stuff like that, if you're just a normal, regular American dude, like that kind of stuff does appeal to you when you talk when it comes to the military, right? The doing the shit like you're 12 years old. It's pretty funny, but I do agree with the sentiment in general. Now, my whole thing has always been things like BMI, and BMI does not accurately reflect the type of men that you can have in the military. It's one of the few cases in which this is correct, because like people like The Rock, right, Dwayne Johnson, are morbidly obese. If you just look at his BMI only, but he is like one of the swollest motherfuckers on the planet, right? Not necessarily like he is bodybuilder swole, right? I don't know. I don't think he's as cut as they are, but he's definitely that fucking big. And so when you look at BMI, his weight, his BMI would declare him morbidly obese due to the difference between his waist and his neck, because he's got like a thick trunk. This is the problem that I had in the military. Yes, I was overweight, but it was like I could run. I scored well above average on my run, well above average on push-ups, and well above average on sit-ups. So on all the metrics that of me being physically fit, I was green across the board and above average plus, right? I wasn't just above average. I was better than above average, but not like the best. Dude, I can't run like a 5-minute mile. That shit just wasn't, for me, that shit wasn't possible. My hip just, no. I got long ass legs and they hurt when I run. And they always have, and I always wondered why I had such trouble running. And then they allowed me to ride a bicycle one time for PRT, and that was it. That was it, baby. Because the thing about it is like if I need to, I can carry lots of weight and I can run a pretty good distance without fucking dying. But it hurts like the dickens because of the way my frame is. If I were short, you would call me a barrel of a man, but I'm not. So I have the barrel of a man body on tall ass legs. And so that's why my legs are like tree trunks. My wife calls me the mighty pine for other reasons we don't need to get into. Anyway, so I do agree with this sentiment that we do need to get individuals who are, especially if you're an officer, it's one of the things that non-military people don't really seem to understand, right? If your officers do not maintain the same standards as you, they do not inspire you to be better. Right? Now we can forgive this a little bit in like movies and stuff like that, like in Stargate SG-1. General Hammond wasn't the best exemplar of physical fitness, right? And to be fair, a lot of the generals I knew weren't the exemplars of physical fitness that you could possibly have. But many of them were physically fit for their age. Or actually, admirals, not generals. Like the subcommander admiral, the admiral for my subcommand was really old. But he was very physically fit. Very physically fit for his age. Like he could have contended with half of us in like, wrestling and shit like that. That's how physically fit he was. So, because there are a lot of dudes in the military that could pass the PRT that basically they run 3 miles a year. And what I mean by that is that you have to run 1.5 miles, I think, for the military, for the Navy PRT, and you do that twice a year. So you run 3 miles a year. Yep. And this is one of those things that I do believe that it could lead to, because this is the problem, right? When you come at it this hard, you end up getting rid of people like Donnelly. Excuse me, I shouldn't have used his name, but it doesn't matter. You get rid of people like Dude Bro, and this guy that I described on my submarine was an amazing sailor, 100% top notch, grade A badass when it came to being a nuclear electrician. He knew his job forwards and backwards. He knew everybody else. He knew half of everybody else's job forward and backward, and was a good leader and a good friend. Right? This is the kind of guy you want in the military. And they didn't give him a big enough bonus to keep him in, and he got out. That's why he got out. But I could imagine them, tightening the PRT standards to the point where, yeah, you can pass the PRT with good stats, but you're still fat, so we're going to kick you out. It's like, because here's the thing, right? It is true that your brain doesn't work as well the fatter you are. And that usually has to do with the food that you eat, but it creates like weird kind of pressures and all kinds of other stuff. It just, if you exercise and you maintain a decent weight, then your entire body just works better, including your brain. But if you are an actual high performer, then you should be allowed to, how should I put this, brush up against the rules a bit more without being punished overly for it, because you're needed. Right? Now, you could say, oh, yes, we should maintain the same strict standards, but see, that's where the word practicable comes in, right? When it's practicable. Because the United States Navy, especially like when you're on a submarine or a lot of the forces that are on ships, do you need to be strong? Yes. Do you need to be fast? Yes. But you don't need to run a mile on a ship. You might be running back and forth, so fair enough. But when emergencies happen, you're usually not running for sustained periods of time. Right? So the fact is that if you are good at your job, then getting a little leeway is perfectly fine. But that shouldn't mean that you should be morbidly obese and while you're sitting at a desk on a ship. Like absolutely not, right? And it was one of those things that a lot of people just absolutely rebelled against in the enlisted portions. Even my engineer didn't like it because he was like, me and him were kind of like the same body type. And so my first engineer was like me. He had like a gigantic trunk, but on like real giant tall legs. And, he told me he felt the same way that I did, that, I have to work really fucking hard to maintain my weight because I love to eat and I just pack on the pounds, and it doesn't feel, even when I'm on a diet and stuff like that, it feels like I don't lose weight, yada, yada, yada. And and so it really bugs a lot of us when we work really hard to ensure that we are at least maintain the minimum standard of our body size, and then there are people in the upper echelons of commands that just get the fuck away with it, and they could fail PRT after PRT after PRT and nothing happens. And it's like, you can be good at your job, but you can't be so good at your job that you can literally just break the rules. Right? That is not cool. That is not cool. Like the whole Top Gun thing where you can be that kind of individual, that really doesn't fly. Then I feel the Top Gun, rebel in me, and yeah, but it'll cause you so much friction that it'll never fly. You got to tamper that shit down. And you can absolutely do it for movies because just like General Hammond, Hammond from Texas. I can't believe I remember that meme. That was so good. So yeah, I definitely think that we should, and this is the thing. It does say leadership positions, and so I do agree that while in the modern military, leaders don't really lead from the front anymore, like generals and stuff. That they should at least maintain the air that they actually give a fuck about standards, because it is one of those things is that when you are the leader of men, they follow your example. So if you hold them and yourself to a high example, they will meet it. But if you hold yourself to a low example and you hold them to a high example, they will hate you. And that's not good. That's not good at all. So, because like, here's the thing. You could be a fat general. You could be a fat admiral. But if they see you every day out running, right? Every day out exercising with them and you're still fat, they'll cut you some slack because you're old. It happens, right? But if you're out there, if you're lifting and you're working out and you just happen to still be fat, a lot of people, like a lot of dudes will be like, all right, yeah, sure, yeah. I understand that. Because there are dudes who do exercise, but they still eat too much and they're still fat. And it's just like, okay, well, fair enough. So, on one hand, it really is one of these things where this is something that I think has been needed for a long time, that the military must maintain standards. We have the ability to. There's no reason that you shouldn't be able to, especially if you're not on a demanding sea command or something like that. Like, you literally live on a base that has, like, how many gyms? You can find time. Like, and here's the thing. Honestly, the whole PT standard where you do group PT and stuff, I definitely think that the military should make more of an effort to include that in the workday, either before, middle, or after. Many times when you're in a training command, they do it. When I was on my sub command, we did it like 2 or 3 times a week. 3 times a week, I think it was. But it wasn't really, how should I put this? It was way more lax than I think it probably should have been. And I've heard tale that there are a lot of commands that don't do group PT at all. It's basically all self PT, and this is how you get, individuals who are morbidly obese in command positions, because they go to commands where they don't require it. Where not only is it a group building activity, but it literally maintains that they know you're actually exercising because you have to be there to do it. And I definitely think we should make a bigger effort for that, as well as making a bigger effort to put people in gyms or something like that. So if you're only doing self PT, you need to get with like a PT coordinator and be like, make a workout plan or something like that, where you can be like, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing most of these days, and then you basically, it's a honor system. So you say whether you do it or not or something like that. I'm just throwing out an example, because if you can lie to yourself real easy. But it's a lot harder if you're trying to be an honest person and a good person, to lie to someone who is trying to keep you physically fit, right? Obviously, people will do it. There absolutely are shitbags that will just lie to their face, no problem, don't care. But it is just an extra step of holding accountable that you have to look somebody who is your leader in the face and lie to them. Yeah. So there should be some leeway. But we cannot allow our standards to fall so far that we have the morbidly obese leading us in the military. It's bad for morale. It's definitely not a good look. And you cannot tell me that someone who is morbidly obese is such a fantastic leader that they don't deserve to either be reprimanded and forced to get into shape or get kicked out. Right? Because that's really what it boils down to. It's like, okay, you're fat. That's fine. Don't be fat no more. In a year, don't be fat. Can we do that? Okay. Right? That's really what should happen. And obviously you can in the military, it's usually one of those things. They don't just give you suggestions on how to do this, they make you do it. Like when you're in boot camp, they put people on diets. They specifically if you're underweight, they'll make you eat all kinds of fucked up shit. Not like literally fucked up shit, just high calorie stuff to make you put on weight, because you're doing all kinds of, you're burning thousands of calories a day when you're in boot camp, just because of all the moving you're doing. All right. So let me see. We're probably going to move on here to another one. Where are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, no. Oh, yes. I love this. Making my way through all the Indiana Jones movies on Netflix. Remember the days when movies and movie stars were fabulous message-free entertainment and escapism. Notice the flag, right? Notice the flag. I'm going to say this. Indiana Jones didn't have politics in it. You know why people say that Indiana Jones didn't have politics in it? Because it's not modern day politics. Nazis are the West's generic bad guys, and they have been since the fucking 50s. Hogan's Heroes is literally a comedy show where they make fun of Nazis and Germans all fucking day, as well as a bunch of other stuff. Like I'm not gonna lie, dude. I thought Hogan's Heroes was the shit when I was a kid. I watched it constantly because it was on TV Land, right? Where it shows all the old shows. Yeah. When I started seeing stuff that came on when I was a kid that actually was like new when I was a kid was on TV Land, I was like, oh man, I'm old. Oh no. Anyway, so the reason that people see this as non-political is because we're not putting modern politics. This is not a critique on what year did this come out? What does it say? Indiana Jones, several decades. So 81 was Raiders of the Lost Ark. 84, 89. Okay, so the first three were in the 80s. Okay, I'm pretty sure. This one's Lost Ark. Right? Because the Temple of Doom is either Lost Ark or the Last Crusade. Because the Temple of Doom is in India. Mostly. Yeah. And it's the Kali Ma cult that he's fighting there. And the Last Crusade is they're trying to find the Holy Grail. Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm pretty sure this is Raiders. It could be Lost Ark. I don't know. I haven't watched the movies that fucking much. Just a lot as a kid, right? And so was Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, or Last Crusade commenting on Reagan's plan to destroy communism? No. Was it commenting on feminism? No. Was it making some kind of religious statement about Jesus? No. Even in the Last Crusade, even in the Lost Ark, where these are explicitly religious icons and iconography and myths from the Judeo-Christian tradition, they're not pushing it. They're not standing on a soapbox saying, you should believe this and you're wrong if you don't. Nazis are generic bad guys. So when you're saying there's no politics in Indiana Jones, there isn't any politics in Indiana Jones. Because the politics are internal to Indiana Jones universe. That's the key, right? Because when people say politics in entertainment, they're talking about our politics, not the politics inside the movie. You can correlate the two, but if you do it too much, too hard, too fast, you end up suspending disbelief. Because when George Lucas says that the Phantom Menace, or one of the new Star Wars movies that he did, the prequel trilogy, was like one of them commented on fucking George Bush invading Iraq or some shit like that, right? It was some part of the movie was, but you can't explicitly see that, can you? No, you can't. But when you have entertainment that literally is, oh, I'm non-binary. And it's in like the 1940s or in some fucking other like medieval place. It's like, yeah, that is absolutely modern day politics influencing the game and will completely take you out of that. That's why in Dragon Age Inquisition, as many faults as that game has, I will say that while I was turned off a little bit that they even decided to broach the fucking subject of transgenderism, I thought they handled it absolutely magnificently, like perfectly well done, because it wasn't in your face. It was something that you literally just came upon because you just start talking to people, and then you realize that this man that you've been fighting with is actually a woman. You're like, what the fuck just happened? And then you go, and then there's this thing, and fucking Iron Bull knows, and he doesn't give a fuck, because in his culture, there's actually a word that describes this type of person where they feel like they should be doing the jobs of the other sex, right? Because in Kunari culture, the sexes do different things. Literally, they're delineated. Women are not warriors, right? They do not fight, not in the military style fighting that men do, right? They're also like scholars and scientists and shit too. Women are. Or priests or some shit like that. I don't remember. The point is that the politics of that individual being trans was internal to the universe and not ours. We understood that the reason it was being brought up was because of our politics. Hang on a second. All right, sorry. And so even though we kind of understood that the reason the subject was even being broached was because of modern day politics, right? Because it was so much in the forefront. Not as much as it was today. So you could forgive it for that. That's fine, because this was in like what, 2011, 12, some shit like that. 14, whatever. When this shit first started to take off. But the way they handled it was they kept it in the universe. They created, the Kunari have this like, it's like, it literally is the same way that Brandon Sanderson handled it in his Stormlight Archives book, where he meets a woman and he could tell it's a woman, but she is like a fucking beefcake, dude. And she's a blacksmith. And basically he's like, what the fuck is going on? Because this is not something he's ever seen or anything. And he's in another country where they're just bureaucrats. They're literally a country of bureaucrats. And so everything has paperwork. Even when you steal shit, there's paperwork. Like it's fucking hilarious, right? The way it's done. It's like bureaucracy is part of their religion, kind of deal. And he looks at the dude who's like following him around. He's like, what's going on here? And he's like, oh, he filled out the paperwork, or she filled out the paperwork, or some shit like that. I don't remember which pronouns he used. It doesn't matter. Because I can't remember if they actually changed genders or if it's just they did other things. I think it was the gender change, so it would be he. And he was like, oh, okay. And it's like, so you're a blacksmith? Yep. You can fight? Uh-huh. Okay. I mean, when you're looking at a woman who's your height and is bigger muscles than you, and she's like, I want to help fight, and you're like, okay. Yep. Sure. And the thing about it is that when you keep it in the inside of the internal machinations of the game or of the fictional universe, then you allow us to subsume ourselves in the you allow us to continue to subsume ourselves in the disbelief that we have. Fuck, I'm stumbling all over myself. When you keep the politics internal, it allows the reader or the person watching the entertainment or experiencing the entertainment to maintain their suspension of disbelief. And so you become subsumed in the actual product, and you in the world, in the universe, and you can maintain the disbelief even though something from modern politics pops up. It doesn't matter, because it's framed from the lens of the universe, from the people that are there. So when Dragon Age 4 did it, they did it from the perspective of us and not the perspective of the people in the game. That's the difference. When you do it explicitly for politics outside, and you make that the entirety of what's going on in a universe where it doesn't belong. If you make a game that is about those types of politics, that's different, because that's internal to the game as well. Even though it's modern day politics, it's internal to the game. So if you want to play a game that has to do with all kinds of modern politics, that's fine. The difference is that when you put it in like something like Spider-Man, which is supposed to represent everybody, and then you co-opt it for a singular political thing, saying messages that the vast majority of people wouldn't say, well, then you're isolating them from that universe because you're saying this character is not for you. If you're the artist and you're doing the character and you're making them use explicitly political messages from today, then you are isolating a part of your audience that may be sympathetic to the other side of your argument. Ah, my dudes, so good. It's so good. Okay, so yeah, this is one of those things where I despise the dialogue that's here because people like this willfully just do not understand what people are talking about, because this is like, it's like a layman says something and then someone who has someone who claims that they have more intelligence and more knowledge, oh, you don't actually know what you're talking about. When instead you should be, I'm an intelligent person, so what do they actually mean when they say this? Are they talking about politics in general? All politics? Right? Because almost every single drama that is in our modern day world, right, the vast majority of them have some type of politics in them. Like Indiana Jones, Star Wars, there are political factions vying for control, right? So they are aware, they're not retarded to the point where they can't recognize that political factions are at war with one another and trying to kill each other. Because, like I said, that's the vast majority of things that are going on when it's, especially when it's like an action movie or something. There's both sides represent some type of politics in the universe and outside the universe. Right, where when it's Rambo First Blood, right? It's like you have this veteran who's going through he's got like extreme PTSD. He's extremely fucking dangerous and paranoid. And what do they fucking do? They fucking go into the woods and start hunting his ass. And it's like, are there politics in that? Not explicitly, but there are political factions within this movie that you could delineate if you saw it. And so these people are aware that in Star Wars, the Empire is a political entity, the Rebels are a political entity, the Jedi are a political entity, and the Republic is a political entity. Everybody fucking knows that. So when they say we don't want politics in our entertainment, in our Star Wars, or in our Indiana Jones, we know that the Nazis are a political entity. We know that Indiana Jones represents a political entity. What they don't represent is that political entity through today's lens. They represent it through the lens of the entertainment itself. So when the layman says, I don't want politics in my stuff, and you turn around and go, well, actually, there's politics in everything, you're the retard. Because you're not understanding what they're trying to say. If someone cannot articulate their position properly, then what you are, and you know they can't, but you know there's something more to what they mean than what that they can't properly articulate, and then you choose to ignore it, you are the retard, because you are preventing the type of dialogue that will take our civilization forward. This is where grace and understanding comes from, right? This is why when someone says something that sounds fucking stupid, you really do want to try to understand what they're actually trying to say, right? Because if you dig down through all the bullshit and all the other stuff, you might actually find their actual opinion that is not too different from your own, right? Yeah. This is why I hate red team, blue team, and then the way the politics go around it. But the funny thing is that as much as I hate it, I really do think this is just the natural way that our species ends up delineating in large groups. Even amongst that, we all break into factions based on loyalty to people, loyalty to ideals, or hatred of others and things like that. And so I don't think we'll ever get rid of it. And so while I lament it and I dislike it in the extreme, I don't believe it's going to go away anytime soon. And so it's like it's really always been this way. It's just the vast majority of America wasn't truly involved in it. They were able to be distracted by, bread and circuses, as it were. And so I really dislike this, because the point of the entertainment, message-free entertainment and escapism. So not only that, I've been ranting this entire time and I didn't even realize he is essentially misinterpreting what she's saying. She's actually articulating it properly in a short form way, right? Because we're fabulous, message-free entertainment and escapism. And then he goes, no politics in Indiana Jones. Do you know why Indiana Jones is message-free? Is because Indiana Jones is a violent individual who steals things. So he's not. So he's almost like what's the fucking character's name? Captain Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean. Although Captain Sparrow was a lot darker because of the whole pirate thing. Indiana Jones is not a goody two shoes. He's a rough and tumble kind of guy, right? Who uses violence, often incorrectly, to get the things he wants. But he's the good guy, right? He's fighting Nazis. So we cut him some slack, right? We see through his eyes that he's trying his best. And that's good enough. That's good enough. And so, message-free entertainment and escapism. Indiana Jones is message-free entertainment and escapism. Because the message is subliminal. The message is under the action. It's under the story, right? And in Star Trek, a lot of it used to be that way as well. Now, there were many episodes where Picard like stood on his fucking soapbox. But to be fair to Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry and Patrick Stewart, when you take an actor like Patrick Stewart and you put him in the role of Jean-Luc Picard, and then you literally make every episode like some pseudo moral lesson about expanding human knowledge or empathy or some shit like that. I mean, what the fuck did you think you were going to get, right? And so while Star Trek was great escapism, it did have a message, but its message was hidden under cool tech, really cool stories. There were layers to it, multiple layers that allowed you to think beyond just this is what's right, this is what's wrong, fuck you, I know I'm right, right? Because that's what modern entertainment, when it puts politics in it, that's what it's doing. It's beating you over the head with the message rather than putting the message in there and letting you think about it, letting it stew. And the funny thing is that one of the main reasons why I do believe that American entertainment made Americans less racist is because that's what they did. They didn't have to explicitly put it in, and a lot of the movies that did weren't as good and weren't nearly as acclaimed necessarily, right? Think about Beverly Hills Cop, right? Eddie Murphy. Think about Blade in the 90s. Blade, man. God damn. I got to go back and watch me some Blade. I tell you what, man. I need to find out where I can find that. It's been a while since I've seen it. But it's like, you know, I think about all the black dudes I watched growing up being my idols and being men that I wanted to be, right? Denzel Washington is another great example. Geordie LaForge from Star Trek, another great example. Benjamin Sisko, another great example. Because the message the message of putting Benjamin Sisko as captain was that black people can be in, you know, upper echelons of leadership, and it's no big deal because they're just people like us. But you know what? You know how they did it? They didn't say that on the show because in Star Trek, race relations have been solved. Black, white, none of that shit matters. So how did they push the message in Star Trek DS9? Well, they showed him being a capable, competent, empathetic, amazing, badass leader. So not only did he have the ability to take charge and take lead, just like Jean-Luc, not only was he an actual diplomat like Jean-Luc, just not nearly as refined as such, mostly due to inexperience, obviously, because he was a commander when he took over DS9. But they also showed a side of him that Picard almost never showed. And that was when, if you push him too far, he will push you back. And he will push you back in a very not nice way. Now, we all know Picard can fight. We all know Picard has teeth. But he usually keeps his claws retracted until the last possible moment. But then you have freaking Sisko in a boxing ring with Q, and he punches him straight in the face as hard as he can. And that is the difference between them. That is how they push the message, is they gave you good entertainment. within the universe that was consistent and coherent with the universe that they were in. And they used them, and they put the message under everything else so that it was just there. You didn't have to think about it. So that the people who were fucking racist could watch Benjamin Sisko and be like, yeah, this dude's pretty cool. I like him. I can have a beer with this man. That's what you want. But if Avery Brooks, the actor that was on DS9, had just come out and explicitly said, "Oh, I'm a black man and I can do everything a white man can," like, you know that's gonna fucking turn people off, dude. You know it is, because in Star Trek they've already gotten past that. That's one of the problems that the fucking Discovery had, is that almost all of the issues that a lot of the issues that they put front and center with the crew and stuff have mostly been taken care of in the 24th century. Because you just are. Everything is. That's it. And this is why you do it with other races. But if you notice that when John Luke usually deals with other races who have bigotries and all this other stuff, he almost never brings it up until it comes to a head, until it becomes a problem. That's when it's brought up. And the reason is because when you're on somebody else's home turf, right? You try to show them respect. Why? Why do you do that? Because if you show them respect, then maybe, just maybe, they'll respect you back. And if they respect you back, when you give them the opinion, hey, this is not right what you're doing here. This is bigotry. You know, you're oppressing your females. You're oppressing this race that's also on your planet, or this other species that's sentient. You're oppressing them, and this is not right. You know, they have the right to be free. When you tell them those things, they are far more likely to listen if they respect you. And they're only going to respect you if you respect them. Understand? So unless there's some type of fucking warrior race where you beat them into submission and then they literally bend the knee because you are the stronger one, that's different. But that's also not really how it would ever work, right? Let's just be real. I hate it, man. I lost my place. Eat that. Okay, so we were talking about Star Trek. We were talking about so when Picard goes to a planet and they're doing stuff that we would consider abhorrent, bigoted, racist, sexist, all these types of things, the first thing you don't do is preach to them. Why? Because, like I just said, if you can get them to respect you, if you can earn their respect, when you tell them you disagree with them on something, they are more likely to listen. It is the same kind of thing with persuasion, where it's pacing and leading, where you get someone to agree with you on something, and then you lead them to where you want them to go. So you agree on, yes, space travel is awesome. That's great. You should come join us and explore the stars. Awesome. And then and you agree with that. And then you slowly walk them toward, you probably shouldn't be keeping your women from working. That's probably not a good idea. They are intelligent beings just like you are, just different, right? Or you should stop enslaving people. Slavery's bad, And now that you have access to this amazing technology, you don't really need it, right? So if you maybe got rid of slavery, that would be great. And if they respect you, they might listen, especially if you've got beneficial trade on the other side, right? Oh, we have access to replicators, so like literally we can make food and water and clothing out of thin air. We can build houses like that, no problem. And it's like, so if you can pace and lead, if you can get them to respect you, you could potentially get them to change to be closer to you rather than who they were, which is a good thing, especially if you believe you are morally correct. The worst thing you could do for the people who are being oppressed by this regime is to go up to the regime and tell them that they're bigots and that we're going to punish them if they don't change their ways. Because what you're going to do is you're going to entrench that nonsense into their government, and they're going to probably use their own propaganda machine to rally their people against you so that you are the enemy. This is exactly what happened with the Tzynki, I think, in Star Trek. In the novels, there's another. I think it's in the. There's some episodes in Star Trek where the Tzynki are in it. They're mentioned or something, some stuff like that, but they're almost never. I don't think they've ever been on screen. Anyway, They're a highly genetically engineered race that exists in a caste system. They're also like amorphous blobs of jelly kind of deal. Kind of like the water dudes from Futurama. And they're in a genetically engineered caste system. So everybody is genetically engineered, and your genetics determine which caste you're in, and it determines how intelligent you are, how empathetic you are, yada yada yada, and so on and so forth. And one of the things that they believe is that the Federation is the most tyrannical, diabolical empire to have ever existed. And one of the reasons they believe that is because of the sentiment that Garrick and what was his name? Garrick and Quark had when they were talking about root beer, how the Federation is the most insidious people. The humans are some of the most insidious imperialists to have ever existed. And it's really because, and he says, because you, at first, you don't like them. They taste bad. And he's talking about the root beer. But then you start to enjoy the fizziness. And then you turn in, and then eventually you like it. And you want more of it. And that's what humans are. At first, you're turned off by all of their morals. But then you start to like them. Really like them. And then you start to want to join them. And that's why they consider it insidious, is because basically the Federation is such a free and open place, full of good and moral individuals, that by simply existing as an exemplar, it makes everybody else look like shit, and it makes you want to be more like them. They are an example. And that is what, and that really is what I feel like Picard was. He was always that example. He was that pillar that he could go to an alien civilization and be like, look, once he earns their respect by being that individual, and then once he's earned that respect, he can like plant the seeds that will eventually sow a more egalitarian society that could ally and be of benefit to the Federation and vice versa. So this is why you don't preach off the bat. This is why you don't evangelize people, is because a lot of them will simply dislike you for it, especially if you're trying to get them on side or get them to stop doing something that they're entrenched into doing. This is not the way. This is not the way. If you want to feel good about yourself but not change the world, this is the way. If that's what you want to do, that's all you, buddy. Okay. So, we are going to go to, got one more. I need to go check on my son here in a minute. Let me. Dun, dun, dun. Ah, yes. This is lovely. So the hardest decision of a man's life is choosing between a 6'10" who loves you and a 9'10" who you actually desire. My true failing in life is women. I'm not going to lie. It really is. I have a track record of choosing extremely bad women for me. And one of the reasons is because of shit like this. I've done this I don't know how many times. Even though I've been overweight most of my life, I've never had a problem having a girlfriend. Almost never. I think the longest I've ever been as an adult without sex was like maybe 6 months. Kind of deal. So I do have quite a bit of experience. And the thing about it is that what this woman is doing is I don't think she's intentionally doing it like the other guy did, where he was, yeah. I think what she did, she just doesn't understand how men think. And I think that's the problem. The best decision of anyone's life is choosing a partner who doesn't rank women by number like they're grading beef. That's not what he's doing. He's not grading beef. What he's doing is he's expressing an idea that there are women out there who are not excessively fucking beautiful, but they love you and they're good for you. And then there are women out there who are smoking fucking hot, you want, but they don't want you because you're not rich and tall and muscular and any of the other number of qualifiers that would be qualified for that woman to actually be able to stay with you. I've had this problem. I've had girls that were 9s, and I've dated them, and Never again. Never again. After I got divorced the first time, no. I basically made the commitment that if I was going to allow a woman in my life, I was going to make sure that all my friends knew her and that their opinions mattered to me, because apparently my opinion sucks ass. So yeah, I had to do that. And so when my current wife came into my life again, basically every friend I had, all my family members was like, yep, she's good. Yep, you're good. Just because that's just who she is, right? And so this is one of those things where they're taking it too seriously, and this is a thing where that men and women just differ with. They see this as objectifying, and we're just being like, this is just how men's minds work, essentially, right? Because he's trying to, and again, it's shorthand. It's not meant to grade you like beef, but you also have to remember that men are extremely visual creatures. And so this is a truth that you are denying by saying you shouldn't choose a partner who has this wisdom, because they said it inarticulately. And this is a fairly good point. It's not worded very well, but so it's good for you to prefer some men to others, but bad for men to use numbers to express their preferences. That's not quite what's going on, but it's fairly good. It's fairly good. And the thing about it is that if you are denying yourself a partner because they use this language, this is where it differ. They basically this is one of the big differences between men and women, is that a lot of dudes, there are a lot of things you could say to them very crassly, and they might not like it, but they'll be like, all right, yeah, I get what you're saying. And then they might express the fact, I didn't like the way you said it, but I get you. On the other hand, the vast majority of women that I've encountered are not that way. How you say it and the way you express it means more than a lot of times than what you actually expressed. And I'm pretty sure this is a prime example. So this man is expressing a wisdom that that either he has learned or he is repeating, right? Because this is male wisdom right here. This is, if you are in this situation where you are chasing this smoking hot girl, but there's another girl in your life who really does love you and would make a great wife and mother for your children, great wife to you and mother to your children, then you should choose her. Because I'm going to tell you right now that 9 out of 10 isn't going to be a 9 out of 10 for the next 50 years, right? That's not how that works. And that's the problem that a lot of dudes have. And I had it too, because I didn't think about it. I didn't even think about because this is not, most dudes don't even look at a lot of women and think on numbers. It's just they're either attractive or they're not, or various shades of which. And so in my life, there was a girl in high school and all throughout my early 20s that I desired above all. And a lot of it was because she was very beautiful. And she was extremely toxic for me, and we were toxic together. And it was not a good match at all, period. Not even close. And it took me a really long time to understand what was going on and why it wasn't working. Because we were just two different people that our eccentricities bumped heads with one another rather than complementing one another, right? Like a lot of the eccentricities I have are complemented by my wife and vice versa. And because of that, we feel like a perfect fit. When I'm with her, I'm at peace. I'm never thinking about, her cheating on me or any of that other fucking bullshit that I used to have with the 9 out of 10. Because yes, that did happen. And yes, I let it. And yes, I went back. And yes, I was dumb for doing that. Never again. Never again. That's why I divorced my first wife, in fact. And basically haven't seen her since. Yeah, there you go. I won't tolerate it anymore because I learned that lesson, and I'm never gonna put myself in that situation again. Especially now that I'm older, there's really no way around it. It's like, because there's no huge delineation between the 6s and the 10s, simply because most of the women my age you can see how old they are, right? That's really what it boils down to, unless there's some kind of superstar who has all kinds of crazy shit that keep them alive. keep them alive, keep them beautiful and looking young. But the reason I wanted to bring this up is because this thing that he's saying is true, and it's some good wisdom that young men need to hear. And it's something that I was probably told by somebody, and I just didn't listen. And that's, that shit happens. I had to learn a lot of shit the hard way. But I also didn't have a father in my house to control me like I needed to be, and to give me shit like this. Because even if I didn't listen, at least I'd have gotten it. From a male authority figure that I would listen to. And so if you see a dude talk like this, could it be a red flag? Yes, it could. Doesn't mean it actually is. And so that's basically what I wanted to roll on it. And all right, we're gonna talk about this bullshit here in just a second, but I'm gonna take a break. We'll be right back. Stand by.
Doubt is for the weak.
Die, heretics! Oh, that looked like that hurt. How about we do it again?
Faith.
How about we do it again, baby? God damn, son, that is ridiculous. Has she got anything else? No. Sure. And one, and two, and you're gonna die.
On the attack.
Come on, baby. Oh, wow, I actually thought it would kill them. Apparently it did not. Wow, it didn't do shit to the elite. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. Here it comes. Yes. 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 Spray them down. Them down like the scum they are. She didn't get the elite though. Oh my god, look at that. So here we go, boys. Here we go. Sparhawk. It's all you, baby. Boom. 10 damage. Well done, sir. And I might be able to kill the mech now. We got one insanity. Come on. Let's go. Sparhawk. Did he just... No! He mind controlled him!
Variation of the...
No!
experimenting on.
No! God, no!
No wonder these things escaped from the lab.
Oh my god, dude! Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. Oh, he's got like 4 HP! This is so freaking bad. Oh my god, no.
Stardust trails, endless night, weapons clean, ready to fight. Beasts roar, echoes loud, victory near. Crew is proud, unleash fury, metal will. Galaxy, they bend to will. Blast them back, conflict might. Dragons crushed, endless fight. Action bone, triggers loud, victory near. Crew is proud, unleash fury, metal will. Galaxy, metal will. Galaxy, that's something, world's proud.
through him. You little bitch. Ow. I pressed the wrong button. I literally... I'm gonna have to change it. I'm gonna...
That's it!
I mean, he's getting kills, so, you know, it's all right. You're kidding!
Dead.
Joe! What the hell is wrong with you?
Area is secure.
Why you so bad?
confirmed.
Why you
Mission
so bad?
accomplished.
Thank you, Hidden Sage. Flawless victory, baby! Flawless victory. Oh, it stuns all of them too. Nice. Come on, burn him down, burn him down, burn him down. No! He's almost dead. He's got like a sliver of HP. Kill him. Yes! Yes, you did. Yes! Well done, sir. Well done. Oh my goodness. GG, baby, GG. Well done, sir. Well done. Oh my goodness. All right, you ready to go kill the freaking world boss now?
Boss courts of dragons, fierce and heroes gone to dust. For here within these hallowed walls we gather tales we trust. Of mountains high and valleys deep where danger always lurks. Of mystic streams and hidden beasts and wizards with their quirks. We raise our glass to those who dare and forge their own wild fate. To every soul who lifts a sword and never hesitates. Oh, sing the song of wanderers brave with all the tales untold. Of mystic streams and hidden beasts and wizards with their quirks. We raise our glass to those who dare and forge their own wild fate. To every soul who lifts a sword and never hesitates. Oh, sing the song of wanderers brave with all their tales untold. Of victories and perils faced and treasures gleaming gold. We toast to every valiant heart with stories yet to weave. Come join the fight, the endless night for legends we believe. A tapestry of moonlit nights where shadows take their form. With silver blades and whispered spells we ride against the storm. The maiden fair with tear-stained cheeks awaits her love's return. The phantom ship on haunted seas where ghostly lanterns burn. Will dazzle dawn's first light appears and banish all our woes. For in this realm of simple joys true magic always flows. The goblets clink, gold chairs they creak, and laughter fills the air. For every soul who graces us, their stories we will share. Oh, sing the song of wanderers, bring with all their tales untold. Of victories and perils faced and treasures gleaming gold. We toast to every valiant heart with stories yet to read. Come join the fight, the endless night for legends we believe.
Hello, give me my seed, baby. Give me that seed. It's mine. It's mine. You can't have none. It's all mine.
Balloon seed excise. Follow me, these. Praise the Emperor. Your
Delicious. Delicious. If only killing dudes gave me something. It'd be amazing. Excuse me, boys, but that is what I call
A triple kill.
Richard. Yep.
Watch my back!
Enough.
Overwatch. It's not bad. What the hell, dude? Oh my god, yeah, cheater aliens, you're not lying.
Commander, the package has been destroyed.
God, dude. I was so sure this mission was gonna be fairly. Oh boy, is that something I can do? Oh.
Alrighty, boys, we are back. Yes, indeed. My son is taken care of, and we should be able to get right back into it. Hopefully, not too bad, huh? All right, so we are gonna look at this. So basically, Hassan has been pushed by a lot of mainstream media to become the new masculinity on the left. And while I don't disagree that he is a more masculine man than a lot of other people on Blue Team, it is funny how they're basically pushing for a terrorist sympathizing commie to become the masculine ideal on the left. I do find that rather funny. And it feels really bad because there probably are a few other people that they could go with that are not as ridiculous as excuse me. So, how should I put this? The reason I brought this up is because the person who wrote the Puff piece did write the Dark Woke article. And maybe among more masculine, but he ain't got half a brain. I think Hassan is smarter than a lot of people say he is. I think what's going on with Hassan is he knows what's going on, and he is doing it all on purpose. He's not stupid, right? But if you are of above average intelligence, and you are trying to basically spin an entire web. Hey, Maze bro, how you doing? If you're trying to spin an entire web about this stuff and be as disingenuous as possible, this is kind of how you would act. You have to like stutter and stumble along continuously, unambiguously, because you're literally coming up with like shit whole cloth out of your brain at any given time. And the fact that he was like this big dude bro back in the day it just makes it even more funny. And they're really trying to do it. And the thing about it is it's not necessarily a bad push that they're trying to do. The problem is it's the person. Because the thing about it is like you do need masculine men on Blue Team and in Democratic Party to be able to appeal to male voters who can talk to them the way that they need to be talked to be convinced. And if you have someone who is just like essentially a weakling, well, you're gonna turn off a lot of dudes just on that alone, right? And yes, it does belay a kind of retardation and stupidity to simply judge a man based on his looks, but it's not what it is. Like the people that say that that's the case are not understanding humans. Human. And so if you want to control the behavior of humans, you have to understand that they're humans and they're going to act like humans. And subconsciously, we're going to look at a dude who is small and weak, who acts like a bitch, and we're going to think he's a bitch. That simple. Doesn't matter how articulate his words are or any of those things. And sometimes that does transcend. It absolutely does. There are dudes that are like that. But a lot of them aren't, especially because, see, you can be short and weak, but if you speak with strength, strong men will listen to you, right? The men who respect strength will listen to you, is what I mean to say. Because you don't have to be, a muscle-bound madman to appeal to men, but you must be masculine if you're a man to appeal to men. And if you're short and you're tiny and you act more like a woman acts, a lot of men are not going to respect you for that. And they're going to be more likely to not say vote for you over another man who is more masculine with similar policies, or policies that somewhat align with what they believe, but they may be trade-offs, right? Because a lot of times when I go to vote, I'm literally stuck with, I like some shit over here, but there's a lot of shit I don't like. And I like some shit over here, but there's a lot of shit I don't like. And I have to choose between those two. It's not, the face-eating leopards and the sweet baby angels that are super innocent and never did nothing. That's not how anything works. That's how children see the world, okay? That's absolutely how children see the world. And so when you frame yourself as the sweet baby angels that didn't do nothing and you just want equal rights and egalitarianism and all this shit, you are a child looking at the world. And you're looking through a child lens and you need to stop it. Like, literally grow the fuck up. And so the thing about it is that Hassan does appeal to, let me rephrase that. If he were to try to become a politician or something like that, he would appeal more to men than women and or weak men, right? Like Tim Walz did not appeal to men, in my opinion. In no way did he appeal to me at all, right? Like J.D. Vance had that lockdown as far as the two of them were concerned. And so does Trump, right? For all of his faults, he is still a relatively strong presenting masculine individual. Regardless of the faults, and you can scream and cry about, oh, he's overweight. Like, nobody gives a fuck about that, dude. Like, being a man is more than just having muscles or being in shape, right? That's what Hassan has. And so he has the aesthetic, but then on the other side, he doesn't, because you have stuff like this, which was in the article, by the way. And I'm going to say this for the record. There's nothing wrong with this. There's absolutely nothing wrong. I'm pretty sure they were doing some kind of stupid fucking skit. And I have put on a dress before to do acting. So, like, what the fuck? But a lot of dudes will look at this and say, oh, what the fuck, dude? And without the proper context, they won't be able to put it in. Because a lot of dudes will not care if you put on a dress to be stupid. Because many men put on dresses to be stupid. They usually just don't allow people to take pictures of them while they do it. And the funny thing about this whole situation is this is the same guy who wrote that puff piece is the same guy that wrote the dark woke thing. They're trying to echo the dark Brandon labeling or like the dark MAGA, because dark used to be this really bad word and you'd put it on something and then it would be bad. But what happened is that they did that with Trump, calling him dark for years and years and years and all this other shit. And he essentially owned it and said, well, duh. Yeah, of course. Yep. I am a monster, but I work for you. Like, you'd be surprised how well that works. It works really, really well. Because when you see a bloated bureaucratic government that you want changed so that it benefits Americans more than it benefits the bureaucratic class, that's how you see it. And then you see a man like Trump, who does not promise to be a paragon of moral virtue, who is literally like, no, I'm a dog fighter. I am literally a dog in a fight, and I will fight like a dog for you. That is appealing. That is very appealing to a lot of people. And it's the monkey brain part of us that does it, not the human conscious, looking for truth and logic shit, because almost nobody really does that, because they don't interrogate down enough to ever consider that they do, including me, by the way. And so this is all monkey brain stuff. So when we talk about this and you hear people bitch and moan about the subject and push back against it, like, oh, if you pick it because of that, you're stupid. It's like, you don't understand humans. You just don't. Like it's like why does sex sell? Because men and women both like sex, right? Men and women both like looking at sexy women. That's why sex sells. Not hard. It's real easy. Men like to look at beautiful women with big breasts. Me specifically. It is a fault of mine, I must admit. One at which my wife indulges to my utter amazement. Anyway, the point is that they're not understanding human nature, right? And because none of this shit is like, oh, oh yeah, that guy's got more muscles, I'm gonna vote for him. Are there idiots like that? Of course there are. But the vast majority of people are just gonna look at the two individuals, and the cover of the book does actually matter, right? We're taught that never judge a book by its cover. You shouldn't, but we do anyway. This is why. Like, what's a great example? Brandon Sanderson's book Mistborn, book 1, sold like shit because it had a bad cover. They literally changed the cover and lowered the price, sold like hotcakes. Never judge a book by its cover, yet everybody does. Everybody does. And so you have to take that into account, that if you are a small man, if you are a woman, you have to take into account that there are a lot of people you're going to be at a disadvantage against some others simply because they look stronger than you. And so therefore, you must project that strength in other ways. You must project that strength in force of will. You must project that strength in your voice, in your posture, in how you walk, in how you interact with people. Because there are women who are strong. There absolutely are. And they exude strength even while being feminine. And it's simply due to their force of will and their personality. One of the best examples I've ever fucking seen was goddamn Margaret Thatcher. Regardless of how you feel about her, I don't know a goddamn thing about her policies. But every time I see that woman and I see her speak, I'm like, that woman has it. She had it. She absolutely had it. She had something that Hillary Clinton couldn't have. And that is the ability to speak to men without nagging and without being a nagging wife. I'll be right back. 1 second. I gotta grab something. I'll be right back.
Light of the Empire!
Astro Boy.
Avenge me!
Shit. Where's his body at? It's right there. No! No, Astro Boy. I'm such a dumbass. Oh, what have I done? What have I done?
All right, sorry about that.
My gunner.
Let me get my bottle. So here's a piece of advice, or just something that's like wisdom for any females that ever may watch this. If a man loves you and you are his piece, then he will pretty much do anything for you. You don't have to nag him to do anything. You simply have to ask. Like, when my wife asks me to do things, you know what she does? She is sexually crude to me. And I'm saying that in a very, very, because I don't want to give away the goose, but she does it in a way that I find lovable and entertaining. And she does it because she loves me. And she wouldn't have to. She could just ask and I would. But this is the kind of thing I'm talking about where it's like she gives me peace and joy in my life. She doesn't cause me stress. And when she does, it's usually it's not because of something that she's usually done or any drama that she's built up. It's just because of other extraneous things. And so you don't need to nag a man if he adores you. And you can lead him anywhere you want him to go. You just have to use the right kind of water. You can understand metaphors, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Your man, if you can lead your man to water and make him drink if you do it correctly. Absolutely 100%. And the problem is that when your man doesn't adore you and you're not his piece, the only way you can get him to do anything is if you nag. Because it's incessant, we don't like it, and so we will do things just to not hear your mouth. That was my first marriage, by the way. And if you come off that way to a large portion of the electorate, especially if they're male, they're less likely to vote for you. It's not that they won't vote for you. They might like your policies and vote for you anyway. I'm sure there were plenty of dudes who didn't like Hillary Clinton because of that reason and voted for her anyway. That's fine. The same way that there are a lot of people who don't like a lot of shit about Trump, but they vote for him anyway. It's not that you're gonna lose. It's that it's gonna shave percentages off. Every little thing about you will either make people like you or dislike you in a small way. And what happens is what that means is that the fringes of like people who are going to vote for you or against you or not vote at all, you're going to shave off like 1% here, 1% there, you know, 1/4% here, 1/4% there, just for little things that you can't even help. But it's just intrinsic in people's brains that they don't like you. They can't really articulate why, but they'll make up a reason. They'll rationalize it. And it could be because you look weak and fucking frail and they don't want you to be able to, you know, lead the greatest country on the planet if you look weak and frail. Which, yes, is kind of dumb when you frame it that way, but that's the way the monkey brain works. It's not logical. It's not rational. The rational part of our brains literally is the part that rationalizes our monkey brain's decisions. That's the vast majority of decisions that we make are rationalized. The monkey brain makes the decision, and the rational part of your brain rationalizes the reason you do it. A lot of times that's how it happens, especially when it concerns emotional things like, you know, in relationships and stuff where you know you're doing stuff you shouldn't do, or you know that you're with a girl that you shouldn't be, or a person that you shouldn't be, and they should move on and get someone who treats you better, or any number of other things. And you don't because your monkey brain says, I want this. And so your rational brain has to rationalize it. And that's exactly what I was talking about in the last thing, where I had a girlfriend who was a 9 out of 10, and she was horrible for me, and we were both horrible with one another, but my monkey brain wanted it so bad that I continually had to rationalize it, even after she cheated on me, even after she treated me like garbage, right? And so I had to, and so it really anyway, so we don't need to get back into that. But them pushing this does kind of feel like they're desperate. And I do believe that this is how they're trying to get the communism into the Democratic Party. I do believe this is how the people who are doing these, who are writing these puff pieces, because they're not really explaining his true views that he has expressed on his stream about communism and about socialism and about the fact that America is literally the evil empire from motherfucking Star Wars, and how any act done against the empire, including the rape and murder of innocents, no matter how many, is completely justified because we're not allowed to criticize resistance. So that's why these puff pieces look like they do. It's because even if they were fair, it wouldn't be called hoping to figure out what it means to be a left-wing man in a red-pilled world. That's not even a very persuasive title. That's literally him that's preaching to the choir. That's what that's doing. Yeah. And so and like I said, it's the same, and like Sitch pointed out, it's the same guy that wrote the Dark Woke article, which was just Dark Woke, how some Democrats are pushing back against Trump. It's like, woke is like Nazi. Owning it is only going to make you look like a moron. Just going to say it. It is. Because the thing about it is that woke is not black people in a movie. And everybody knows it. Right? That's not what it is. That's never what it was. And you know it. But you got to lie to everyone to pretend it ain't. Because you can't be the racists. You can't be the sexists. You can't be the homophobes or the transphobes. You got to be the other side of that. And so the language is twisted and warped to the point where you are the good guy. No matter how bad you act, you are the good guy. Because the greater good will require any sacrifice. No matter how many innocents require to burn at the stake, the greater good will deserve that sacrifice. Funny how Hassan was born into wealth. Yeah, he is a what is it called? Fuck. I can't remember what the phrase is. Where your parents put like a lot of money aside and you could draw money from it for basically your entire life. Not savings fund. Trust fund, baby. That's it. Trust fund, baby. His parents are his family's like super rich. He grew up in Turkey. Like there's literally pictures of him doing equestrian sports, right? So yeah. And then I think he went to a fairly prestigious college. He worked for his uncle, Cenk Uygur, and then he started streaming. Now, don't get me wrong. He definitely earned his viewership, right? Because Twitch and YouTube are very meritocratic in that way. Either people like you or they don't. And yes, they do push things, true. But we have seen time and time again that true, actual, natural viewership beats out all the other bullshit. Like they can push and push and push. Like the manufactured consent is funny because we used to all think that's the way it was, and it probably was. To be fair, went back when you only had newspapers and like three television channels, there was probably a lot of manufactured consent. Fucking the Iraq War felt like manufactured consent because I was a person. I was like, we don't need to go there. Like Saddam is fucking, but we don't need to be doing that. That's not our job. Like that's not what we're supposed to be doing. Anyway. Yeah, ROTC didn't like me very much for that opinion. Told him to fuck off. Oh, it was great. You see, this is the thing. It's like I could completely and utterly criticize George W. Bush inside of an Army ROTC compound with enlisted and officers and other ROTC members around me and say, this is bullshit. I don't like it. We should not be doing this. And none of them gave me any shit over it at all. And the reason was because I was also in a fucking ROTC uniform and I was fucking pushing and I was busting my ass every fucking day there. And so they saw who I was. They knew who I was. So when I had an opinion that differed from them, guess what happened? They respect me as a person, as a man, and as someone who wants to join the military. And so they listened. And though they didn't agree, they might not have agreed. They didn't like, call me a commie or any of that other shit because they absolutely know I'm not. This is what I mean when I say that you don't automatically, stand up on your soapbox and push back against people who have differing opinions than you, because if you can get them to respect you first, then you might be able to move their opinions closer to yours, or at least come to some kind of accord that would allow you to exist peacefully with one another. And so, but in the age of the internet, manufactured consent is almost laughably stupid. While YouTube algorithm can push something and Twitch algorithms can push stuff and X algorithms can push stuff and the government can push all their propaganda out and the mainstream media pushes all their propaganda out. It's not, we don't have we're so fractured in the news that we consume. There is no way to manufacture consent in the same way, at least not broadly across the entire electorate. You can only manufacture consent now on your own party. Maybe. But the real worry is that what happens if all of the platforms get captured by the government and we don't understand that that's the fact and they start controlling the algorithms. That's when you can get more manufactured consent, right? Because if you basically show only information that makes you look good and hide information that makes you look bad, you can make someone believe anything and you told them the truth the entire time. But you still lied through omission, right? And I don't know if they're going to be able to do this because even a lot of people on Blue Team know who Hassan is and know what he's about. A lot of them are part of the Hassan Hater Club, and the reason is because he is a commie fuckstick who is a terrorist sympathizing bastard. Or excuse me, terrorist sympathizing asshole. Excuse me. He's not a bastard. He has a father. I'm the bastard. So fair enough. But I don't know if they'll go all the way. And one of the main reasons I don't know if they'll go all the way is because if they do make him the masculine poster child, it could like completely destroy the Democratic Party. If somebody like this were to actually come into any type of prominence and political power, because the moment all the normies figure out who the fuck Hassan really is, you're siding with the terrorist sympathizing commie? No thanks. No. Even a lot of socialists that I follow on X do not like this guy because they know what he's about. Right? Just because you're a socialist doesn't mean you want fucking babies to be murdered and call them colonizers, right? That's not how that works. So And let's see. Yeah, look at this. A progressive mind in a MAGA body. This is what I'm saying about when you give up shit to the other side, you're an idiot. This is like, I can understand why we gave up the swastika, because it's not really that prominently important in the West outside of like some esoteric shit. But essentially, like the OK hand symbol being, it was a fucking troll by 4chan to get the mainstream media to believe it was a white power symbol when it's literally the circle game. And especially when you hold it below your waist, that's where you're supposed to do it, and then I get to punch you, right? And they've given up physical fitness and looking masculine to the right. This is essentially what they've done. This is what he's saying. So the author of this is equating strength and physical fitness to not being on the left. And specifically to MAGA, which is dumb, but even if he were to say in a rightoid body or whatever, it would still be dumb. But they've ceded the ground. They've given up masculinity and they've given up strength, and they don't know how to get it back because the vast majority of dudes who are writing this shit have no idea what it means to be masculine, have no idea what it means to be strong. Because if they did, they wouldn't write it this way. This is propaganda. This is not strength or masculinity or any of that. This is just pure propaganda. Because it's all about how you speak, right? It's all about how you carry yourself. It's all about how you stand. There is it's not a very specific way, but like I said, even small men who are overweight can be strong. It's about, and a lot of it has to do with self-confidence. Because the thing about it is like, if you've got a good idea, it doesn't matter how weak you are or fat you are. If you say it with enough strength and confidence, most people will listen to you. There are very few people who will turn down a good idea simply because you're short and fat. Right? Our entire economy has shown that that's absolutely not true. Look at how many fucking stupid ass looking nerds and short weak men like have all kinds of money and make all kinds of cool shit. And it's because, oh, you got a good idea? I'll definitely pay you for that idea. Oh, you're small and short? I don't give a fuck about any of that. Good idea. That's a good idea. Right? This is why it doesn't matter if a black person or an Indian person comes up with a good idea. It's a fucking good idea. Like the package that it comes in that is irrelevant. And should be judged based on the merits of the idea or the philosophy or what the fuck ever, right? But it is unfortunate that, as I've said before, humans are going to human, and we do judge people based on these things. And so it's not that you're going to lose, but it will be an uphill battle if you're not careful. And that's one of the things I think Hillary Clinton didn't understand, is that because she did come off with that nagging wife kind of vibe, and I don't think she really understand how bad that was going to hurt her. That there were going to be a lot of people who were going to be so turned off by that and her history on top of that, that it just completely fell through for her, right? She was the Trump of that era, right? For, in 2020, so many people hated Trump. That's why Biden won. I'm pretty sure that had a lot to do with it, especially with COVID. And so I think that's what happened to Hillary, is that she was so disliked and hated. That's why Trump won, right? Because like, I certainly wasn't going to vote for Hillary Clinton. You're out of your fucking mind. Anyway, so I think that might be it. Yes, here we go. The desperation of the left to find a masculine role model is leading them to levels of retardation once not thought possible. This is pretty much it right here. Yeah. Hassan Piker pumps iron, likes weapons, and wears pearls. His brand of masculinity won him many fans online and has a useful vehicle for his politics. Sure. He's not wrong. But the thing about it is that just like I was saying about how humans are going to human and you have an ape brain and your ape brain makes that decision, you rationalize it afterwards. This is one of the reasons why he is able to attract the way he is because he is a dude bro. And he does have that deep voice. Yeah, he does that shit where he like gets the mic so close and then he does this and it's really annoying. Yeah. Yes, I can do it too, dude. But the point is that it has, and it's because monkey brain, right? And so you can get people to come to the way you think if you are confident and if you are masculine enough, and you're appealing to that. It absolutely can win you fans, and it does. And he's actually proof of that. But that's the problem. This is the problem, is that it's leading them to levels of retardation not thought possible. This man is an avowed communist, right? He doesn't just say he's a socialist. He has said openly that he believes that communism is the way, right? And has openly praised terrorist organizations, and has even excused any type of horrible human behavior that is done in resistance to Israel and the United States of America. Okay, so I think we're done with that. And I think we're going to switch over to some Last Epoch now. I am still blasting through, so I've made my final decision that I am going to finish out all the Echo timelines, and then we're going to see how that works. Because apparently, to be able to get even up to Corruption 100, I have to do multiple. I have to do I have to beat all of the timelines. So we're gonna run through that. And I should probably use the restroom and grab some coffee. So I'm gonna do that. So I'll be right back. Stand by to stand by. We shall be right back after these messages from our break screen. Stay tuned for more right here.
What is he doing? Suppressed? Really? Please don't pull. Please don't pull. Please. I don't think it pulled. Gotta use waypoint. The aerodynamics of the plane and the drag of the air allow it to use the air as a liquid. Side of the mountain or the thing. Oh wait, hang on. That works. Oh, the double kick.
Doubt is for the weak.
Die, heretics! Oh, that looked like that hurt. How about we do it again?
Faith.
How about we do it again, baby? God damn, son, that is ridiculous.
Alrighty, boys. Here we are. Yes, indubitably. Alright, so boomstatic. Boom-sastic. That's it. Boom-sastic. I don't want to hear that bullshit. I don't want to hear it.
All right, so we
I
need
cannot do that.
unique amulets, right? That's what we need. Prophecy. Amulets. Right, I need to turn this down because I can fucking hear it. There we go. Where's the thing? Is it here? No, the staves. Who's down here? Aha! Here we go. So we need ammies. Roll. Yes. Yeah, but it requires 50 monolith corruption. I actually have a monolith at 50 corruption right now, so. We'll claim that one. Death of a boss. Unique ammy. Basically, I need unique amulets. Death of a siege golem. Death of a boss. Go with that one. Yeah, I need a Oh, that's cool. I didn't know. Damn, it looks even cooler with that without the icons. But anyway, so do they not have any potential on them at all? It's only one unique amulet. But it's 8,100? Death of giant scorpions. Alright, I think that's I think it's because you can just easily go get it. I think it's guaranteed to have at least one. I think that's what that means. Death of Herat. Do that. Okay. Basically, I got rid of a bunch of my prophecies that weren't in monoliths because I'm just running monoliths now.
I
don't feel like fucking running the dungeons. I have no interest. It's a shame, but eventually I'll get back to it, right? Wait.
I cannot do that.
Oh, I'm in town. I was
cannot
like, where the
do
fuck
that.
am I? I don't even know which town I'm in. Did I walk out the door? I must have. Okay. Oh, I know where I'm at. Never mind. I just never walked here because you can instantly teleport here at any time. So it kind of.
I cannot do that.
Oh, shut up. All right, let's hit it. So we did the Reign of Dragons. I got 25 necrotic resistance. By the way, hang on. Whoa. Let me actually do this. Let me go to the end of time, and I want to see something. By the way, I have 975 mana. Yeah. I do. Know what the fuck do. So we're gonna...
I cannot do that.
Gut your pie hole. Yeah, it just kind of bums me out that these are basically just superior because my build, the mana it gives me is just, it's so good, right? 908 gives me almost 70 mana. You know what I mean? Just from that one ring. I mean, I've got 100 mana on here. I've got no mana on there. No mana on there. So if I were using one of these, 188 mana. I could just use the one that's 154. This has got 387 lightning damage on it, right? $425. 288. Why? Well, crit and lightning pin. Yep. That's pretty much it. Oh, and the as you can see, the spell damage on the one down at the bottom is 110, and that one's 66.
So even with the extra mana that I get from the tripling of this ability right here, it gives me, so that means it's 15 spell damage and 95% to, hang on. You know what? I should probably do the math. And 105. 35 times 3 is 105%. Yep. Tripled if you have over 1,000. So I'm at 1,200 mana. But it's still, this has so much more damage on it, right? Like 20 plus spell, 30 plus, 40 plus spell damage. And it increases the spell cost. So it gives more damage. And the crit. So even the 300 lightning damage, which means my lightning damage is now 755. But now my spell's at 274, spell crit. 27. Now it's 46. And it gets 35% cast speed. I'm pretty sure that's what's making my damage go up so fucking high. Because that's at 39, 24. I really wish it showed hard numbers. Because it really fucking irks me that it doesn't show me what the actual damage of the spell is. Because it crits for like 30k, right? I'm gonna do some testing and test that out. The reason I actually came here was for this.
Greetings.
So cancel. Fall of the Outcasts. So we have idle, rune, unique, experience, gold. Helmet, boots, amulet, quiver. I'll put it on ring drop rate. Yeah, boots might be better because I need boots, but I don't know. So critical strike multiplier, I definitely health, dodge, chance, spell damage, critical strike chance, leech rate. Then we've got 2-hand drop rate, 2-hand spear rate. All of these are undiscovered. So and that's the fall of the Empire. I think I'm wand shard, and then bow shard. What did I choose? Amulet shard. I have no idea what the fuck that means.
I cannot do that.
Reign of Dragons, minion resist, poison on hits. I do need to do that one again. And I got 45 mana right here. These are all so good for casters, man. It's ridiculous that I have to choose between ward per second, and ward threshold, and then damage and mana. That's one of the reasons I'm so close, is because I have that.
Be undone.
I've got every
Lesson remains.
thing that can give me mana except this right here. Is it worth? Let me see how many points I need. Let's find out, shall we? Is it worth it?
Hello,
a million gold.
traveler.
So we're gonna go 1, 2. Let's just take them all out, and we'll see where we can go. All right, so I am at 975, 981, 987, 993. So 34,396, because now I have over 1,000.
Hello, traveler. $79.34. So it's not actually that much. It's not worth giving up
not worth giving up
Hello, traveler.
5 points in crit. I don't think I wouldn't say. Right. So now we're at 375, 34. And then we go 425. You see what I mean? It's just like there's no comparison, man.
I
Do not
cannot
dwell on
do
regret.
that.
I need. It's not worth it. I could take points out of this, right? Or potentially that one. But to lose all my mana on cast, I don't think so. To be fair, I could take it out of these. I don't really need this. I could put more of it in the crit, actually. Yeah. I like the idea of the defensive-ness of it, but I think I don't think it's serving me as well. So we're gonna undo it. So we got 11 points. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That puts us over 1,000. 4. Yep. That'll do it. That'll do it. And then we go over here. We've got 6 points left. I can go. Is that what I want to do? We could just go hard intelligence, but I mean shock chance, I really do, and then lightning pin. Well, that'll probably be really good later, right? It's probably one of the things that might be holding me back. So let's start going down that route. And if I get more mana, I can reconfigure that. So if
Hello,
we
traveler.
can't do that,
Hello, traveler.
and if I do this, can I do it now? Yep. There we go.
Do not dwell on the regret.
Sweet. Arcane Lightning is a single target lightning spell. It would do 8,600 damage. Five-second cooldown.
I cannot do that.
Hello, traveler.
So let's see about. Can I take this out? No. Let's take 2 out of this. We'll put 1 into that.
Hello, traveler.
Take 1 out of that. That does not drop me below. So if I take
Hello,
another one, will it drop me?
traveler.
Let's put here.
Hello, traveler.
Back. Ooh. Right at 1,000. Is it over or at 1,000? With 1,000 mana. There you go. So exactly 1,000 mana. I'm good to go. Sweet. So if I brought that back down to, let's see, what's my crit multiplier now? 250?
Hello.
The reason I want to get
traveler.
this is because it's got more multiplier, but it's not that much. So if I brought that back down to 5 points. $463. $473.
of more cast speed. That's the thing is, do I really actually need more cast speed? I don't think I do.
Hello,
so
traveler.
I was dumb to do this. Shit.
Hello, traveler.
Okay. Go bam, bam.
Hello, traveler.
Take one out of that. Wait.
Hello, traveler.
I can't take any more out of that. Can I take out of that? No. Okay, so we need to put one there to be able to
Hello, traveler.
this out. Got 2 unspent points.
Hello, traveler.
Okay. So it has to be at 5.
Hello, traveler.
So it'll be 30 crit multiplier over 15, so I'll get 15% more crit multiplier.
Hello, traveler.
But I also have 5 points, so I could put them fucking anywhere. So if I put 3 points in this, ward on potion use plus mana regen, 15%. So it would be 3 ward on per intelligence, 6 intelligence. So you're talking like over 200 ward. Plus mana regen. Yeah, I wonder if stun chance would be better. Right? Because I could just dump them all into pin, right? What's my mana regen? 20? Fuck it. Yeah. Now my mana regen is 21. Lovely. I hate that you don't get anything with flat mana regen on it. I really do. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if Arcane Momentum didn't have this damage, increased spell damage component, I would probably not have it. Because the increased cast speed does mean that it drains the shit out of my mana. But it is so good when I'm just spamming Lightning Blast. Right? Only 7,000 damage for Spark Nova. I mean, I guess we go Lightning Pin. That's about the only thing I can really feel like it's either that or more crits, more lightning and shock chance. Right? I could put more in that. I could get more mana there. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're
Do
good.
not dwell on regret.
Why do we have 109? Oh, yeah, it's because I needed to put one more point.
I cannot do that.
I mean, I could put it in this and just get a little bit of fire damage, but okay, so we did the respec thing. There's nothing we can do about that. So that's why you need to run the timelines over and over and over again so you can unlock the cool shit. We're here. Age of Winter. Did we do this one? I think we did this one, right? Conquer the Age of Winter. Oh, so I beat the Reign of Dragons. We got necrotic resistance. So yeah, Age of Winter. This is level 90. So we're gonna see how hard these bitches push. All right, let's go. We're gonna see if we can hang.
need to do? Slay enemies to locate the gates.
Fools.
You know what I mean, man? It's just, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Movement speed, damage. Damn, 9% damage. Wow, with 2 movement speed, that seems pretty good. Frailty on hit. Wow, dude, look at that double. Oh my god. Wow, that's so good. Void damage and damage over time. And the worst part is there's nothing I can do to it. It just basically ruined the item. The first new lightning item I found in fucking forever. And it's basically not ruined. Because I can't do any more crafting to it. Other than this. It has no legendary potential, so I'm just shut out of luck. Prophecy fulfilled. So, staff, shock chance, staff. Nope. But the spell damage is low. God damn it. Yep. Wow. 65% cast speed. Look at the mana cost, dude. 51%. It's almost maxed. 208 mana. 440,000. Still, it's more damage. It's only more damage because I need to do this. And it still didn't fucking do it. Man, it literally pisses me off. Pisses me off so much when it does that. I know it's only a chance, but it's like 1 in like 50 million fucking drops do I get something like this that I can actually like have a potential to craft something better. And then the crafting just doesn't, I just get RNG'd. It fucking makes me so fucking mad. Come on, game. Quit being fucking stupid. So, the thing I need to put on it is actually a prefix and can only be a prefix. So I cannot put it on the other side. So, all of those staves dropped. Only one was good for crafting. I had to waste mats to do that. Because I'm going to lose a lot of damage, right? $221. I almost wonder if the DPS meter isn't correct. I'm about to test it here in just a second. 1,350 mana. With this bad boy. But it's only 73 spell damage. $93 spell damage. It's got physical fucking damage on it. Lovely. This one's 93, so it's closer. And it's got 1 to all elemental skills. Mana. Physical damage. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to Rune of Removal. It actually fucking worked. Oh my god. This could be it. Let me see. If I do 1 to all elemental skills, what does that mean? Okay, cool. Wait. What? Oh, it's teleport. Yeah, of course. All right. So, do we do... It's mana. That's got a lot of mana, and mana gained is ward. Unfortunately, it's not mana regen, which I would much prefer. Because look at this shit. This shit really makes me mad. Right? It has more mana gained on ward than you could possibly ever have. 144%. I got 270. So we're at 1870. We're getting close. Maybe it does, actually. I don't know why it has a low ball there. Okay. So can we do spell the crit multiplier? $25. Let's get it to T2. Here we go. Fuck yes, dude. This is going to be insane. I should have done it the other way and put this one on and then pushed it down. I really should have. It's only got 4 fucking potential left. Oh, because I didn't put that on there. I'm so dumb. So dumb. So... This sucks so fucking bad, dude. Yeah. I guess we put shock on hit on here. And there it is. So... Yeah. Alright, let's go see. Let's go see if we can actually make this happen, shall we? I got a bunch of those, so can I put a weapon in here? Weapon or jewelry. Excellent. Let's put this. I want more of those to drop. Put that there. That there. In fact, I'm actually going to put it in both. Yeah, let's put it in both. Yeah. All right, let's find something to kill and see how this works. You know what I mean about the spell? Look, it still does massive amounts of damage. This went down to 35. Yeah, it's definitely the ball doing it. So let's let all my shit. 21. 35. It's the cast speed, dude. It's the cast speed. It's what's doing it. Yeah. I wonder if it's going to be worth it. Let's keep going and let's see how it plays out. I shouldn't have gotten that. It only costs 138 now, so it's one of the reasons that as soon as I got close, he got annihilated. You know what I mean? It looks like it's doing fine. What's my critical strike multiplier now? I'm down to 27% crit and 276. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm really mad about this staff too. I'm really fucking mad about it because I got it done, but it's still not great, right? This one is still better because it has lightning pin on it. That one only has shock on hit. So, I mean, I could melee fire damage is at 5 max, so I'd have to strip that. This one has mana regen on it, though. And minus to spell cost. Is that what I want? Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this correct this time. Game, fuck you, man. And it still has 20 on it. And so now it has mana regen. It has mana regen on the item. With 1 less spell damage on the item. So we'll get a less mana out of it. But it also has lightning pin. So what do we do? Do we do crit chance? I say we go critical strike multiplier again. Yeah. Oh, come on, dude. God, I hate this shit sometimes, man. It's so fucking annoying. I got my shit back at least. Yeah, it's so fucking annoying. This would make my thing so much better, but man, 50% mana cost is just insane. It's insane. Also, both of these are max, so I'd have to strip one. That one's busted. This one's 94 spell damage, but it's got increased poison damage as its fucking thing. I'm not happy. Not happy at all. Especially because now, yeah. Well, it'll allow me to get 1 point in this. I could get another point in this. I don't know what the fuck I'd put it in. Tendrils, I guess. Rock chance. I don't know. Lightning blast. I guess crit and damage, or I could put it. I could max this bad boy out. Right. Put another arcing power. I'm not sure if +1 to skills actually matters in this. Is there a place that I can actually see the raw damage numbers of these fucking spells, dude? Because this is so irritating. Because the reason that my damage is so low on these is because of the cast speed. Because, like, look, we put this on, 21, 24. That has no cast speed on it, but it has 387 lightning damage. 302. 263. Put this fucking thing on, and it goes up to 458. And why is it 458? 41 is because of it's DPS. So it's damage per second. So it's basing it on my maximum cast speed. But the problem is I can't cast that fast or I'll drain my fucking mana so bad it'll fucking hurt. So I'm kinda like stuck. And I don't exactly know what the fuck to do about it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Take care.
So we're gonna take a quick trip. Okay, there we go. And since we lost all that crit, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go use some of those points to put more into crit.
Hello, traveler.
That I put into mana. Can I take a point out of this? No. All right, so how much mana? I have 1,200 mana.
Hello, traveler.
So we can absolutely do... Yeah. Hell, I could probably do
Hello, traveler.
I wish I could look at my stats while I do this. 1168. There you go. Okay, so we've got 7 points. Grit's back up to 31.
Do not dwell
Go.
on regret.
Let's go see. I've still got a lot
I
of spell crit
cannot
multiplier.
do that.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that just had cast speed and critical strike chance. Fuck, I'm
I
going the wrong way.
cannot do that.
I got a lot of ward, dude. A lot of ward per second. A lot of ward retention. It's crazy. All right. My son is being awfully quiet. He's being a good boy. Like, did I leave something in there? No. Rare staff. I don't need a rare. I have a lot of prophecies that are just going to drop massive amounts of staves, so. What I really like... Oh, stream still says chatting. Thanks, bud. Appreciate that. It happens. I always forget. Thanks, bro. Also, greetings and salutations, my friend. How you doing? Wow. Good to see you. See, it really doesn't seem like I'm having too much. I'm still evaporating them. I'm still doing 30,000 damage on crits and stuff. Yeah. But as you can see, my cast speed is significantly slower. Damn, that's a good one. I don't think I have anything to put in here. At all. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, significantly slower cast speed. I can absolutely see that. Let me see something here. Could I... What's my mana regen? 22.4? Okay. I really want a staff instead of ward spent. Ward... You gain ward for how much mana you spend. I really want one that has mana.
I won't go back. I did nothing wrong.
Bandit staff. 100% potions converted to war. You have no leech. Okay, amulets. Cast speed with smite. Fuck you. Whoa, whoa, hang on. It has lightning damage on it? Yeah, not really, not really. So, curse. I have prophecies because I basically need legendary rings and legendary necklaces to do what I want. The only thing that's going to be better is a legendary thing. And look at all the amulets are all the fucking same. Are there only 5 fucking unique amulets in the goddamn game? Because it's all I seem to be fucking getting, dude. Look at these. There, finally. I got one with fucking... I got one of these with 2. But it's still really fucking shitty. Like, there's no way it's going to beat out the necklace that I currently have. It makes me sad because it's literally the only thing I'm going to be able to find, because out of all the permutations of look at all these fucking things. Out of all the permutations of necklaces, like they're all made for fucking like necros and shit. Channeling. Ugh. I got one of those too. It's got 1 legendary potential, so that's good. All minion skills. Gotta fucking love it, dude. So, okay, that's elemental damage. 85 spell damage. Critical strike. Is it still a good base? No, it's not. Yeah, it's 63 spell damage. Chill on hit. There it is. Look at that one. Mana regen, spell strike. This is why I didn't put those points in anything. Got 20. Fuck it. It's only got 22 potential. All right. Well, let's see if we can get this bad boy rolling. Come on. You've got to be... Man, fuck you, game. So yeah, it really feels like all that DPS was coming from the Caspian. It really does feel that way. Stun chance. Well, now that's an interesting one. 121 spell damage. Got stun chance as its thing. So melee lightning damage. Yeah, that's what I thought. More silly RNG bullshit. What is that? Necrotic damage? Like, I wish somewhere that it gave me the raw damage of when I shoot this, how much damage it does. Because I want to compare both DPS and that, because now I have a problem where the DPS number isn't serving me well, because it's literally, it's not showing me my damage increase. It's showing me how fast I can cast. Which is fine, because I'm at like 1100, but like, seriously, man. I need... Kind of hesitant to do this because I know it's going to take it out of shit I don't want it to. Like when it takes it out of orb, it's going to take it out of mana charge. I guarantee fucking to you. Are we done? We're done.
Yes?
It doesn't have legendary potential. I'm getting rid of it. Maybe not that one. Because like I still have this hope that one day maybe I'll make a minion bitch. I'll want it. Because I'm an idiot. Chill, necrotic damage. Ward when you transform. Elemental resistance while channeling. Got 68 increased lightning damage on it, so I guess if I could throw some
I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, it's not going to beat out 10% mana and health. It really isn't. Even if I could get more lightning damage on it, right? What's my V at? 84? Yeah. So it's potential. So 27. 27. Yeah, so you look at that. Yeah. It's because it gives me mana, which gives me more hit damage with that. So I could potentially put a bunch of shit in this. 2 legendary potentials. Right? If I put, like, a purple crit and maybe a crit modifier or some shit like that on a ring. I hate that that gives 31 minus 31 crit multiplier. That's kind of dumb. But it does give 30% increased chance, so I guess that's it. 17 ward on hit. Minions, minions, minions. Minions, minions, minions. Look at this fucking ring, dude. Minion damage, minion health, minion crit. Fuck. I got 2 really good rings for a relatively low level necro right here. You know what I mean? And Legendary 4 is almost filled up. Look at that. That's crazy, dude. Future loot. Look, I got 2 legendary potential on that bad boy. So, problem is I don't have a lot of rings with a lot of good shit on it. I have some amulets with some good shit on it, but not a lot of rings. I haven't been keeping them for some fucking dumbass reason. All right, did I put all those points in? I did. Let's go. So, slay enemies. Good. This still seems to, I mean, these are level 90 mobs, so they're a level higher than me, and they are absolutely getting destroyed by this shit. Glacier? Fuck, man. I don't want none of that shit. Prophecy fulfilled! Okay. Summon Spriggan. Got another one of those. I've got none of them that have really good mana on them. None of them have really good. And the funny thing is that all getting mana will do is it'll allow me to respec some of my tree into other things. So yeah, I cut my DPS in half, essentially. And I seem to be still doing pretty good. We'll see how it goes against bosses and shit. Is that what I think it is? Yep. Look at that shit. Look at that. I got 2 new ones. Yeah, baby. Yeah. So, this was 24 lightning damage. That's mana regen. There you go. Okay. Cool. Another pair of 13 intelligence boots. I think the max can be 18, right? Level 8. bitch. I just got a thing being like, you have been logged out of YouTube. Thanks. Fucking Caster Labs having another fucking moment, I guess. All right, boys, I need to go use the restroom, so I think we're gonna do so. So I'll be right back. Stand by to stand by. We'll be right back after these messages from Break String. Stay tuned for more right here at the Tango Hotel. The solution to life, the universe, and everything is the simultaneous sip. That's right, boys! And we got it right here. Exclusively, not really, at the Tango Hotel. And all you gotta do is grab that cup of mug or glass. Perhaps you have a tankard, chalice, or a stein. Maybe you have a canteen, a jug, or a flask. A vessel of any kind. You fill it with your favorite fluid. I like my morning coffee. Waifu made. And join me now, friends, for the gloriousness. That's right, the stupendosity. The absolute awesome sauceness, and the thing that you would give your life to the Imperium for. That's right, the simultaneous sip, and it's happening right frickin' now. For a sec. For a second, it looked like we weren't going to be able to get it. It might whiff completely. This is going to be bad. Oh, I think we got all of them. Booyah! Booyah! The magic pixel exists. And zip. He's back!
Rolling stop. Reload.
Kill him, yes! No whammies. Oh, thank God. No! Oh, my gobbo senses have killed Archsage. Yep. Yep.
Here goes 5.
Yep. Straight dead. Straight dead. God. Mother. That is so asinine. I mean, I knew it could happen. I knew it could happen. Damn, son. Yeah, no shit.
All right, boys. Unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to call the stream there. I need to leave. My son needs me, so unfortunately, that's just gonna be the way it is. He gets priority, isn't that right, buddy? So, on that note, my friends, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. Please don't mess with my green screen. And I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully, we'll be back around 2 or 3 tomorrow morning. Hopefully, I'll get some actual sleep. But until then, my dudes, be around.